Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Move Mining 2018. This is our second annual event. My name is Pat Jacomet, and it's my honor to be your host this evening. It's an honor to be here. We've got some great presentations to share with you tonight. We've got 5 finalists who competed online, and they're vying for $5,000 in prize money today. So they've done a great job moving the needle towards changing the perception of mining. And that's what we're all about here at Move Mining. We need to change the perception of the industry that we all work in and that we love and that we're passionate about. So we're really happy and proud to have these young men and women with us today to help us, again, move that needle to change the perception of mining. With that, I'd like to take just a moment to talk about some safety measures. If there were a fire or some type of event, the exits are clearly marked on both sides of the aisles and in the rear of the auditorium. And we do ask that you keep the aisles clear. Also, please silence your cell phones, and please no flash photography. We are broadcasting live on the SME Facebook page. With that, I'd like to thank this year's sponsor, Polymet, who is our prime sponsor this year, and they've done a fantastic job, again, making sure that we have the financial resources to make Move Mining a success again this year. Yes. I'd like to introduce our esteemed panel of judges. First is Thomas Rao. Tom is the project manager and senior engineer at Kappas, Cassidy & Associates. Tom, welcome.
Thank you.
Next is Bianca Prade, Senior Vice President with SKD Knickerbocker.
Hi,
welcome.
Everyone. Thank you.
Michelle Ash, Chief Innovation Officer at Barrick Gold. Chad Asgard, General Manager at United Taconite. And Tracy Boehm, Director of Community Development at Freeport-McMoRan. The Move Mining competition has been formatted so that each team has a 15-minute window to make their pitch and to answer questions from the judges. The judges will be logging their scores on an iPad, which coincidentally comes from mining. Everything in an iPad comes from mining, right? So we're using the technology that comes from mining right here and having a live Facebook event to boot. So without further ado, let's start the competition and introduce our first team.
Please welcome from Quezon City, Philippines, presenting for Team Bridge 360, Prince Joseph Erneser Javier, Armando Cuatro Reyes, and Rigel Gonzalez. Our contestants are creatively sharing information about mining and how it can help in national development.
Hi, we're Team Bridge 360, and we're presenting to you MineTrack. Our team is composed of mining engineers. So Prince here is into data science and finance. Damans here is into mine feasibility and mine management, and I'm Rage, and I'm into innovation and business development.
Why are we all here? We're here because there is a problem with public perception about mining, and that has to change. And to change that, we think that we have to look at 3 stakeholders: people, mining companies, and government, and each has its own problem. Of course, people have the problem of public perception. Just look at Facebook. My Facebook feed is full of people posting negative things about mining. So there's a lot of misconception regarding that. And then, of course, there's a problem with some governments not having the correct policies with regards to mining. 2016 research by Fraser Institute some of the lowest ranking countries regarding policy perception index include Venezuela, Afghanistan, even our own country, Philippines, Indonesia, among others. And lastly, mining companies have really great social and environmental programs. And it's just that people don't know about them. For example, in the Philippines, again, 30 million seedlings have been planted by the mining industry alone, but it seems that very few people know about that. Now, so the underlying problem here is communication. There is a wrong public perception because there's lack in communication between the three stakeholders: people, mining companies, and government. So that's what we want to connect through our idea, which is MineTrack.
Now, MineTrack would be a mobile-based and web-based application that would serve as a platform and channel to seamlessly share reliable information among these three stakeholders. Of course, people, government, and mining companies. Now, we will empower the people to have the right conclusion about mining, either it is large-scale or small-scale mining companies. We will empower the government for them to have the right policies to be implemented to their countries, and empower the mining companies for them to have the right social, economic, and environmental programs. So we have 4 modules that we are going to present. Now, first is voice. Voice is voicing out issues for citizen empowerment. This is the highlight of our MineTrack. Why? It's where MineTrack ratings and review comes in. So this is where people could send out their sentiments about what they think is a mining project in their community, for example, is thinking about. We have MineTrack ratings beside the people's ratings. Now, the MineTrack ratings would be coming from the government data, mining company data, as well as partnered with EITI and PBEST. And the people's ratings would be, of course, the mining communities and the anyone who will be a beneficiary or affected by the mining projects. Now, aside from that, these would also include summarized mining company statistics, such as charts, tables, and geographic map. There would also be a database of mining laws and standards of each country, and mining-related issues. On this module, there will also be a mining-related news aggregator. So next would be C. This would be the module for seeking experts evaluation. This would be where the MineTrack would become a mine auditing tool. So as a mine auditing tool, it would gather the data input by the mine audit team that could come from the government, or a mine audit team for the internal audit team of the mine company, as well as a third-party mining auditing team. So here you can take a photo, put everything, add the components such as technical, environmental, legal, social, whatever that is, and then from there you could actually generate reports.
If voice is for the people and C is for the governments, here will be the module that will be used by the mining companies, and it's going to provide mining companies interesting data. So if you can see, that's a concept of what it will look like. It will include a mining company and how people find it and how governments find it. So if it's red, it means you're non-compliant and you have really bad perception. If it's yellow, you're partially compliant and the perception is not very good. If green, you're really compliant. You're complying with the government regulations. And at the same time, you have good public perception. And if blue, that means you're doing the best practice and the public really likes the project. And at the same time, mining companies can use MineTrack to get data about public perception. And that could help them with how they do their programs, environmental, social programs, if it's working or not. And then, of course, lastly, info. This is the underlying system that connects here, voice, and C. Info collects all of the data from voice, see, and hear, and then processes the data, and then lastly, it generates a report so that people, government, and mining companies will have the information that they need. MineTrack is a system that takes in 3 problems, which is first, perception problems, of the people. Secondly, poor policies of some governments. And then thirdly, this lack of communication about mining companies' social and environmental programs. It will allow people to have a voice, to share their sentiment. How do they see mining in general and mining projects? And it will allow governments to see how mining projects work and what do they actually do in a seamless way through an auditing process. And then it will allow mining companies to hear what people have to say and what the government have to say. And all of these are processed through info. Generates a report and sends that report, all of that information to people, the government, and mining companies, so that there will be an improved public perception about mining. There will be hopefully improved policies for the governments, and lastly, people will have improved perception of some mining projects with really great environmental and social programs.
Okay, now inside my cell phone is a mock application of the MineTrack. It looks like it's already working, but it has no programming yet. So for this to take off, we would need around 6 months from planning to app development. And first, we will launch it in the Philippines, where we are most comfortable with, and where we already started communicating with the government, the academe, and the private companies. If this becomes successful, we plan to distribute it to the whole world. But we will need around $86,000 budget for the first 6 months. And that budget includes already the labor, contracted services, materials and supplies. All we need for this to take off.
Well, the mining industry is a highly misunderstood industry. So MineTrack is here to streamline these processes and information that would go through this ecosystem of people power and people, government, and mining companies. So we will empower the people, the government, the mining companies through the right information. So hopefully you will join us in our endeavor, and you will help us to make this dream come true. So again, we're Team Bridge 360 presenting MineTrack. Thank you. We're open for questions. Yes, ma'am.
I'll start. First of all, great job, team.
Thank you.
I definitely think it's a great idea to leverage digital tools. I just have one thing I'm curious about with respect to negativity, and hypothetically, let's say an environmental group decides to take over the app and hires a bunch of people to go put in a bunch of fake negative comments. What parameters will you put in place from a technical perspective to make sure that the app is authentic and that it reflects the people, not the opposition?
That's a very good question. Actually, can you please show the slide? All right, over here, if you can see, there would be a location-based public perception survey. So if that is a community, it's really a mining community who's giving a thumbs up for that community, then we will be able to show it to them, instead of randomly getting all of those data. Because of big data analytics, we could actually see that and then have a trend if which has that like a heat map. Yeah.
So just to reiterate, if you can imagine like a geographic heat map, and let's hypothetically, what if most of the negative perception turns out to be in the cities, and then most of the positive perception are from the communities? So that alone will give you an idea. There must be something going on here. So, and secondly, we're going to allot quite a substantial budget for cybersecurity. That's in the case for, let's say, a hack that will compromise the whole system.
Yes, a chunk of that $86,000 mostly goes to the security.
Great, thank you.
So you have, I really enjoyed the C here and voice. I think it's quite creative. I like it a lot. But
Thanks.
I see one thing with voice that I want to know a little bit more about. When I hear your voice, I know who you are. right? I recognize your voice and I say, oh yes, of course, this is an individual. It's a specific person, right? It's one of the most important pieces with security, of course, right? How can we vet that a voice is, that the person has qualifications? Is there a way to say, oh, this person is a mine engineer, they have some value. Oh, this person is a geologist, or a government official, or a teacher, and know what the voice is rather than just a voice in a crowd, but I can't tell who it is?
Actually, supposedly, when you log in into the mobile app, can you show the mobile app? So we have a mock up here. So when you log in, it would show you that there would be three accounts. So that would be, one is for a guest account, two is the company, and then the third one is the audit. So there you should log in with your account, and then from there would be a profile if who are you, where you live, blah blah. So from there again, data analytics is very important in this mobile application because it's gonna be a real big data.
Yeah, so to add to that, I mean, you can fake your account, right? But with big data analytics, the idea is, or the vision is, we should be able to see if it's a fake account or not based on a person's behavior on the app itself and some other connections. At a concept level, the detail, we have yet to think about that. But the vision is big data analytics should be able to separate what's a real person from a bot, and what are their profiles. Are they engineers? Are they just advocates, are they environmental advocates? Are they from the academia, etc.?
But of course, with our current technology, that is kind of easy already with the open source codes and all. But then again, yeah, there would be artificial intelligence and big data analytics coming in.
Great, thank you.
So I have a question. Very creative idea. Thank you for your presentation. So one of the keys in attracting people to use these types of tools is how you market and promote them. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you intend to do that and make sure that people are using the app?
Well, marketing would come in maybe in the latter part of the 6 months. So when the thing is already up and running, we will be partnering up with a lot of mining companies so that we have a background music. So that on that with partnering up with the mining companies is one. Another would be on social media, so that these companies and these people would actually share the mobile application itself and the data from the mobile application, because it has a web base, of course. So basically, we would be a primary source of data.
And to add to that,
thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. Got to interrupt.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bridge 360. Great job.
Thank you so much.
We're out of time. Good job. Thank you. Let's hear it again for Bridge 360. Great job. Nicely done. While our second team prepares, let's take a moment to review how our teams will be scored. Each team is evaluated on information quality and organization, communication, visual tools, content and concept, application and impact, cost assessment, and attention to detail. The judges have been given a rubric to mark their scores for each of these fundamental categories. Each judge also will be awarding points based on emotional appeal. So at the end of the fifth presentation, the panelists will compare notes and determine the Move Mining champion for 2018. Now that we've reviewed the scoring, let's introduce team number 2.
Our next contestants, developing an idea for an interactive cloud-based question and answer program from Tucson, Arizona, presenting for Team Nova, please welcome Javier Maguina, Victor Tenorio, and Alexia Acevedo.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here, and we are so excited to be part of Move Mining. I had this dream since last year. I wanted to start the first year and then the second, and finally we were able to have our contribution to improve the image of mining, and that's why we're here. First, I would like to introduce the team.
Hi, my name is Javier Maguiña. I am from Peru. I am a grad student in mining engineering at University of Arizona.
Hello, my name is Alexia Acevedo, and I'm an undergrad student of civil engineering with a minor in mining at the University of Arizona.
And I'm Victor Tenorio, professor of practice at the Mining and Geological Engineering Department at the University of Arizona, also from Peru. Yeah. And all of us three are
The NOVA
team. Okay, let's start showing which was our source of inspiration for this concept that we're going to present. We started with movies, TV shows, and things that activated our mind to have something that could reach out the people and let them know more about mining. We started with robots, androids, very knowledgeable, and computers that want to control everything. So what do they have in common? All of them are voice activated. We ask questions, they answer, and we can have very quickly in a very natural and common interface the answers to what we're looking for. We have seen this coming now to the present times, and it's ubiquitous. We now, more and more, we see this type of voice-activated services that are in our hands or in our table, and they are not only controlling appliances, but also providing us very valuable and useful information. So based on that, we started to research and see what things or what advances are in education using these voice-activated services, schools, cloud-based schools, and also all the efforts that are done for improving the image of mining.
So our prototype image was based from a movie, but it can be anything. It can be any object that's related to mining, or it can be any character.
Our final project is NOVA, which stands for...
It stands for Naturally Oriented Voice Activated Answers for Mining.
This is NOVA.
Okay. Okay, we would like to present NOVA in a shape of a kiosk, a sort of user-friendly display that can be located in many places. The shape of this kiosk could vary, depends on the location, but also would have maps or charts that would help the user that is interested in knowing about mining, in knowing about the benefits of mining, to follow this path and try to ask things that would capture their interest and increase their questions about mining. This is called NIC, the NOVA Information Kiosk, and could be anywhere that we would like to place it.
So NOVA can be displayed in many places like schools, libraries, hospitals, and many other corporate buildings so that the public can access to it easily and with no cost.
Okay. To increase the interest in using NOVA, we would like to create the awareness based on strategic advertisement, flyers such as this thing where we attract public of all ages, families that are interested and would like to know more about the benefits of mining, and guide them through a path that they are advancing in what they want more to know about mining and their benefits, and could be conditioned to the locations, to the areas, to mine operations near where they live, and so on.
Today, I have some questions for Nova. Nova, how does mining affect our daily lives?
Mining is present in everything. Without mining, we could not have electronic devices, appliances, tools, cars, planes, jewelry, and more.
Oh, Nova. Good. How does mining impact Water consumption?
Mining is one of the most conscious industries about water consumption. It has evolved its technology in the past few decades and has some closed circuits for recirculations of water consumption for its operations.
Nova, how does mining industry adhere local communities where they operate?
The mining industry is permanently committed to comply with local regulations and to respect communities that are located near future operations, providing job opportunities and respecting local traditions and cultures.
Well, I was thinking, is there mining potential in other planets?
Yes, there is potential of mining in the Moon, Mars, and the asteroid belt.
Oh,
By the
no.
way, on
Sorry.
2016, the University of Arizona successfully launched the OSIRIS-REx mission, a mission to bring the first rock sample of an asteroid to Earth, which is the first step for space mining.
Wow, University of Arizona. Oh, Nova, you know a lot about mining.
Of course, I also know about geology, metallurgy, environmental, and much more.
Okay, and another feature that we would like to add to NOVA, since its inception, is that it's fully bilingual.
I'm going to ask the same question I did before, but now in Spanish. Nova, tú sabes mucho de minería.
Sí, también sé de geología, metalurgia, medio ambiente y muchas otras cosas más.
Thank you.
Okay, now we would like to present our nuts and bolts of our budget. It's kind of modest. It's only centered in the prototype. The main features on the budget rely on the development of the sculpture of the prototype, the figure that could be different depending on each location, the type of mining, the different characters that inspire people in the local communities that could be easily recognizable. Other aspects would be buying a kit for developing these voice-activated services that you can adapt from commercial products, and that will be linked to a database. And talking more about the database, we would like to propose SME as the source of a reliable and unbiased database from where the information is coming in the shape of announcements, bulletins, and information that is fully proven as a source for the database that will be connected with the existing website, and that could be an continuously updatable source for information about the benefits of mining.
The total cost of this project would be of $6,100.
Nova, I have last question, please. Who is going to win this Move Mining competition?
I cannot predict the future, but I would give all my votes to the University of Arizona NOVA team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now we can answer some of your questions.
I'll jump. First of all, thank you very much for your presentation. Very well done. You certainly got a lot of passion for this, and it'll make a big difference. Great tool, and I think one of the biggest goals of this is obviously trying to educate and change the opinion or the reflection of mining. So where you locate, where you put this in the people, I'll say that you make this available to or try to inflect change on is very, very critical. So how do you plan to approach, I'll say, trying to get demographics, certain groups or certain locations or certain people to get to use this in your placement to drive change?
Let me answer that. Yeah, I think that there's people who are used, for example, to go to the library very often. They bring their kids and they do activities on a weekly basis. The weekends are typically full of these places. I was also thinking in restaurants or other places that would like, and where people are kind of interested or enthusiastic for knowing a little bit more, maybe parks and so on. Looks like more or less like a museum kiosk or sort of type of that. So we can start locating more and more and also adapt it to the places. Like a corporate lobby would be different than a bank or it could be a bank or a restaurant or a school or public library. So it could be adaptable, but still keep the image or the logo of, in this case, Nova or any other name that we'll take in the future.
Great, thank you.
Just a question. So, I mean, my son would absolutely agree with you that voice activation and voice interaction is the way to go. He can't even, bear watching me Google a question. He has to grab it and get Siri to answer the question. Luckily, his accent is not as silly as mine because he seems to get Siri to be able to do things for him. Have you thought about the challenges of all the different things you'd have to work through? I mean, Google makes Siri look very easy in terms of the different voices and languages and accents. Yet a niche product has a lot of advantages in terms of getting to certain markets. The pros and cons of a niche product versus, partnering with another organisation that has some of the same attributes or has some of the same features. Have you thought about that at all?
We have been thinking on that partially. At the beginning, as far as we know, the voice-activated services have some level of customization. And for the moment, they have a single voice and kind of a let's say universal accent, so everybody will understand. And also the challenge of being bilingual is not exactly a skill that has to be learned. It has to come from the beginning of the development of the tool. And in the future will be more languages, but depends on where it's going to be located. We don't need to make it multilingual in a place that will have a single language, but more on that, we would like to provide information that will be useful for the location. Maybe they may have a special lingo for the name of the mine, the name of the other areas in the mine, and they are familiar with that because maybe families go and work there. So as far as I know, there will be an extra task of customizing the product for the place. And the figure also may have some appeal to the locals, and they say, oh, this is our figure or mascot of some sort. They will help like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
And how will Nova respond if someone asks it a negative question?
That's a very good question, and we were aware that was going to happen and with the previous team as well. And it may happen. They say, oh, Nova told me this, and this is not this is not exactly quite true. Those where the skills appear, and the skills will be like self-learning, self-learning or self-educating environment in where they are capable of first be polite. You cannot talk rude to a voice-activated service, and that's a thing that now is very popular. Trying to educate ourselves, also learn how to ask and how to receive the answers. Our purpose is to show the benefits and the positive things of mining, but we have to find ways to address some of these or either controversial or negatives or things that can be better improved. There are ways to euphemize or saying things in a better way that could change that kind of negativity. So we would like to do that gradually, make the system to learn by itself.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. For Team Nova.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you. In only its second year, Move Mining is already changing perceptions. As you can tell, we've got some great folks who have already spoken to you about their concept of helping change those perceptions. In our world, perception is reality. In a world of information, there's also a lot of misinformation. So we've got to control the narrative. Move Mining, why is it different? We ask folks from around the world to share their ideas. We ask our competing teams to consider their audience first. We ask them to tell the industry story, and then we ask them to make the pitch. kind of in a Shark Tank type scenario. So we thought it would be fun to do Move Mining in the form of Shark Tank, and I appreciate the questions from our judges. And with that, Team 3 is ready, so let's introduce Team 3.
Our next contestants are presenting useful information about the mining industry for kids of all ages. From Medellin, Colombia, presenting for Team Teaching Kids, please welcome Jose Raul Velasquez, Tomas Meza, Isabel Casabuenas, Sebastian Arenas, Sharon Escalante, and Jesus Castillo.
Hi, SME friends. Those are my partners, my friends, and my team. We are teaching kids, and we are from Universidad Nacional of Colombia. As everyone knows, the perception of mining is a critical issue. That's why we think Move Mining is a great platform to share our idea and make it possible. Thanks to all people behind this project that allow us to be here and create a new perception of mining.
We wanted to start with the same question we asked ourselves. How are we going to change the future of mining, and what's the most important element we have in our society?
Following that idea, we believe that mining has the power to change what we think about mining. We want to teach them what is the basic concept of sustainability.
Also, we want to impact people's lives directly by creating new and innovative ideas to approach our target audiences.
That's the reason why Teaching Kids was born, to improve what people think about mining.
With Teaching Kids, we want to focus our effort on children and teenagers because we think that they have the power and the madness to change the perception and the future of mining because they could be the next engineers. We have two target audiences. Children from 8 to 11 years at the elementary basic school. Through an interactive way and activities with minerals, we want that they explore and discover their world and realize how close is mining to them. Our other target audiences are teenagers within 15 to 18 years at the last years of high school. The strategy with them is to implement our knowledge, give them statistics and economic data with the final purpose that they could create their own criteria about our activities. We also think that all student chapters around the world are able to share topics related because as a young and a professional members of our society, we have the influence necessary to do it.
So, okay, let's start talking about the implementation and what we have here with this project. We split the project in two main items. The first one is a long-term period. With this project, we wanted to impact, as my friend said, we wanted to impact in a friendly way how children, especially from 8 to 11 years old, think about mining. With minerals, showing them minerals, and trying to make some activities in a very interactive way. We're trying to change not only the perception, but what they may think about mining at that age. At this part, it's really important trying to get involved the SME into our project. That's why we're planning to partner up with the MEC, Mineral Education Coalition. I think that's a really good platform for us as teaching kids to improve our project and to give some ideas or maybe have some benefits about what the MSc have already done. So with this project, we wanted to impact in a long-term period the children, the kids. We also have a short-term period. It's based on the senior high school students, And we wanted to impact them, showing them the benefits that mining comes with, all the technical-based data, all the economics, all the influence that mining has all over the economy in a country. That's why it's so important for us that children and teenagers have the opportunity to talk with them and show them what is all this about. The other part that we wanted to talk about is the financial plan. We think it's really important. And as you can see, there's listed some of the many items that we have to cover. It's really cheap. It's a really cheap project. And it depends, or the cost of the project depends on the amount of involvement and impact that the companies want to have in the society. So it's about $700 per activity. It includes children, and it also includes teenagers. So let's start with my partner here. Sebastian is going to talk a little bit more about how are we going to measure and all the things that we've done so far.
But of course, we all know that we cannot just say in words. That's why we already start measuring the impact that we are creating. In this graphic that you all see here, we are showing you the perception of people after and before the talks on the conference that we are giving them. Until now, we are visiting 15 schools, and we teach more than 300 people between students and teachers. And now, all this data that you see here in the right part, the 85% of the people just understood in a very well way what mining means and important and key concepts about mining and earth science. In the left part, you can also see the 15% of the people, the other hand, the 15% of the people before of the talks that they don't have an idea of what is mining, what is a mineral, or maybe what is the closest mineral that is around them. Now, we want to share with you an important video.
Para mí, Move Mining es la manera de potencializar esta idea que tenemos, Teaching Kids.
Con el fin de poder cambiar la percepción que tenemos de la minería.
Teaching Kids nació como una iniciativa de un grupo de estudiantes de la Facultad de Minas de la Universidad Nacional de Colombia.
De poder cambiar la mala percepción que se tiene de la minería en Colombia.
No solo quedarse en lo ingenieril, sino también en abarcar aspectos económicos, ambientales y sociales, demostrándole así a la gente del común, a la gente de afuera y especialmente a los niños que sí se puede hacer minería bien hecha y que la necesitamos.
Teaching Kids es un proyecto único porque le apuesta a las nuevas generaciones y son ellas las que pueden lograr cambiar la perspectiva que tenemos hoy en el mundo.
La motivación que me genera a mí para hacer el proyecto es tratar de cambiar la percepción que Colombia tiene acerca de la minería.
El proyecto siempre le apuesta a que con los niños podemos cambiar lo que conocemos hoy en día.
Que la minería, si la hacen en un bosque y hay animales, los trasladan a otro lugar y hacen la minería.
Que los niños puedan aprender a valorar desde el lápiz con el que escriben hasta en el carro en el que andan, porque detrás de cada una de estas cosas está toda nuestra carrera profesional.
Espero que el proyecto siga avanzando, que no solo se quede en Colombia.
Que podamos llegar a cada rincón del mundo y así generar una comunidad donde voz a voz podamos cambiar la mala percepción que tiene la minería.
Muchos saludos por allá y que estén bien y busquen mucho oro para hacer lápices y anillos. ¡Chao!
To conclude, what this project search is to give mining the importance that mining deserves.
So, Jesus, why do you think that mining deserves it?
Well, mining is the main activity that changed the world. So the perception of mining by itself is a world changer element.
Oh, that's right. So Teaching Kids is not only a project. Teaching Kids is a movement that allows us the opportunity to change the bad perception of the world has about mining.
That's right, Isabel. Can you tell us, please, why we choose kids and teenagers?
Sure. The role that we the role of the kids and the teenagers is because we believe that they can share what they learn in their schools with their parents, and at the same time they can share that knowledge, and their parents can share that knowledge with their friends, and their friends can share that knowledge with other friends, and how network works. So at the end of this sequencing, everybody is talking about mining and why mining is important and why we need mining in our life. So what would I like to do, and how can I make this project global?
Well, it's not a secret that the main part of this project is education. So education is the basis of society. Education is the transformation element, the element of transformation that we would like to use. So for the global part, we think we're going to use the biggest network in mining that we know. That network belongs to the SME. We think that the student chapters could have a vital part in this project.
Yeah, so we're gonna make Teaching Kids a global project. We're gonna raise our voice to tell to the world how we do and what we do it. Because
Teaching Kids is not only a project. Teaching Kids is a movement. Because of that, we are in Move Mining. Because Move Mining is Teaching Kids! Thanks.
That was maybe Mike in his budget timeline.
Yeah, I'll start with questions. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Oh, great, thank you. First of all, fantastic job. My question is, particularly for the younger segment of children, what tactics might you use to communicate with parents who may discourage their kids?
Yeah, sure. So at this point, we've been having some troubles with the society right now because some parents are saying, hey, you're watching my kid's brain or something like that. So it's very important to get the approval before we go to a school or a college to talk with the directors of that school, if they allow us to go there and show our project, what we do. At some point, at some parts, it's very difficult because there will always be a person or a guy who's, hey, you're watch braining those kids and it's gonna be a mess. But what we do is we're not going in a very, we're just trying to make it as neutral as possible, just to show them the benefits, but also the importance of mining. It's just education. We're not watch braining any nobody's. So that's the thing that we are defending our position. Like, we are here, we are trying to change the perception, but in a very informative way. That's how we are going to do it.
To complement my partner's answer, I want to say that the university where we are is a public university. And in too many cases, we are working for our professional lives, for our professional career. So we are changing the perception because we know and we feel the consequences for this bad perception. We are representing our professional career. We are not representing any enterprise. So that's why another reason that the people maybe accept that we go and we explain how mining works. Because it's not that it's good or it's bad. It's that mining is necessary for all of us.
One of the things I loved about your presentation is this whole issue around, education or a product versus a movement. And I think certainly, as a movement, it's much more scalable and able to reach more children, more people. The flip side, though, with a movement is now you've got a lot more people than 5 engaged in teaching the kids, interacting with the kids. Had you thought about how you were going to package the information and keep quality control over that information? Because, otherwise I guess it'll be branded teaching kids, and so you'll be, if nothing else, the brand will be important.
Okay, so the thing is, as Jesus said, we're gonna get all student chapters around the world. So now we are gonna work only with the schools in Medellin, and we visit every school in Medellin and we teach to the kids. So what we're gonna do is go to every student chapter that SME has in the world to teach them how we do it, and the student chapter can reply these activities with their communities, with their cities. So at the same time, we are doing the same thing around the world. So it's not only all of us doing this around the world. It's become all the student chapters do what we do. So we're gonna share our knowledges as our practice, visit to the schools and other activities with other student chapters so they can do it the same around their families or other friends or other kids.
Okay, so another thing is that we have a very well-structured program, so we can share with all the student chapters all over the world. So they don't have to start puzzling around or, I don't know what to do with this, or how can you help me? We have a very structured program with all the requirements, all the people that are working. So at this moment in Medellin, we have like a group of 20 people all trained in educational activities, because it's really important for us, like they get the essential of the mining, but in a very interactive way as a children. And for teenagers, we have like a more structured program based in economical data that will allow them to create their own criteria.
Okay, great. Let's hear it for teaching kids. Good job. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Well done. Good job. Thank you so much. Thank you. Great job. Let's hear it one more time for teaching kids. You know, it's about changing perceptions, and starting with kids, I think, is very important. A lot of times when I go into classrooms, I'll talk to the kids about look around, what was grown and what was mined. And we say if it can't be grown, it has to be mined, and point to things. And it really starts driving it home with these youngsters that if it weren't for mining, we wouldn't have cars, we wouldn't have the roads, we wouldn't have the school buildings, we wouldn't have the churches. We wouldn't have much of anything if it weren't for mining. So I applaud these youngsters for helping us change those perceptions. With that, let's welcome team number 4.
Our next contestants are aiming to solve real-life problems within the mining industry by collaborating with mining companies. From Aberdeen, United Kingdom, presenting for team Minus Click, please welcome Dayu Koliola and Yinka Omotehenshe.
Hello everyone, my name is Edo Mongo. I'm representing the Miners Click team from Nigeria. First of all, I'd like to say that good intentions are not good enough if they cannot yield good enough outcomes. And good enough outcomes cannot be achieved without good and enough education. And therefore, Miners Click is a team, and our project is aimed at projecting a shining image of mining. Why? Because in Nigeria, for example, a lot of people go into mining with a very good intention, but because they don't have the good and sufficient knowledge to undertake mining the way it should be, they end up doing more harm than good. This has really painted mining in bad light, and we desire to project that image by bridging the knowledge and practice gap which currently exists. We intend to solve problems, by collaboration. Our goal is to provide real solutions to identify challenges in Nigerian communities and, in fact, the whole of Africa. We intend to be a focal point where the mining image in Africa, we have a better perspective. And below is the list of our team members and our various designations. So what are the problems we are talking about? There is little or no awareness about the economic viability and the importance of the mining industry impact. Advanced education is unavailable to the practitioners within the industry. For example, those in the field do not have technical know-how. A typical miner cannot do a mine design. Those who have the technical know-how, the theory, they don't know the practice. There's a disconnect, those who have the theory, they don't know the practical. So there's a disconnect in our mining system. We have inadequate laws, and to compound the matter, the inadequate laws are not even being fully implemented. Watch this video to have an idea of the negative impact we are talking about.
In Nigeria's Zamfara state, the discovery of gold has brought prosperity and hope to its people, but the process of mining the gold has had deadly consequences. Lead released in the gold mining process is poisoning children. Hundreds have died, and thousands more are at risk in what's considered the worst outbreak in modern history. Zamfara has huge deposits of gold. With a rising demand for gold, the people have increasingly turned to mining to eke out a better living. In this area, lead poisoning is a deadly byproduct of the search for gold. Miners crush and grind ore, and in the process, they release dust that is heavily contaminated with lead. Effects of lead. Children are exposed to the dust when they work in the mining sites themselves, or when their relatives return home from mining with their clothes and hands covered in the dirty dust. Lead can also contaminate the local water sources that people use for drinking, bathing, irrigation, and livestock.
Every evening, I enter the community. I enter their houses. I'm a woman. They will not tell me, don't come in. I enter their houses. I see their children. Out of 10, 5 is sick, lying in the house, taking local medicine. And before you know it, the 5 will not survive.
Lost an entire generation of our youth. It's really terrible. There were so many signals to show that this could have likely resulted, but clearly at that time I think they were avoided by the authorities, and the people that should know, didn't know at all. They didn't know the dangers. Prospecting for those raw materials clearly was for their lives. So it's something that is clearly very tragic, something that shouldn't have happened at all, and something that I think the authorities at that time should have done more to avert.
Okay, thank you. So that's just an idea of what's going on. So what's our focus? We want to focus on advancement of education, which aligns with the United Nations Sustainability Development Goal number 4. We want to ensure that every stakeholder acquires the knowledge and the sufficient skills that are needed in undertaking mining activities. We want to promote sustainable development and lifestyle. What's the game plan? We want to educate the general public on the opportunities and the possibilities, both the pros and the cons, available in the mining sector and how to approach each. We want to match research students with current industry problems. We want to motivate academic mentors so that they can offer supervisory support. You know, we believe that by tackling these problematic issues, we'll be able to improve the perception of mining in Nigeria and indeed all of Africa. You know, why do we think so? Because we believe that, you know, we believe in the global flow of information, you know, from the advanced countries to the least developed. You know, what we are learning here, we'll be able to take it back home and be able to make impact. We want to take from the best and integrate it in our culture by adopting the international standard and operating procedures. You know, what do we want to achieve? A win-win strategy that favors all stakeholders. You know, who are the people that we intend to teach? We intend to teach students in mining and allied courses. We intend to engage academics and researchers, you know, to learn from us just how to improve on their work. indigenous that host communities. We need to educate them, how to undertake mining in such a way that it will be a plus, not a minus to their people. We need to educate the regulators how they can improve on, their work and enforcement and strategies, NGOs, and etc. What's the solution? We want to bring student consulting. We want to use audiovisual education, handbills, jingles, and all of that. We need to adopt campaigns and feedback mechanisms. We need to undertake research and development, and we need to set up, our own mining boot camp. So, what is our unfair advantage? What's our strength? Why do we think we will succeed? Because we are a team of diverse skills. We are multidisciplinary. Everybody has expertise in different areas, and coming together, we believe we'll be able to, achieve our goal. We have government recognition. We have links in government and all of that. We believe we'll be able to leverage on all of these experts and public endorsements, such as we are getting from SME. It's going on Facebook. People are watching. And at the end, we believe that it's going to, give us a push in achieving our goal. What are our marketing activities that we need to undertake? We need to be doing publications in form of articles and books, undertaking email marketing, exhibitions, and all that we can see on the PowerPoint. What are our revenue streams? We intend, with time, to be running some email courses that people can pay a little token. Not all of them. We can offer some for free, but some people should be able to pay a little token to learn from what we are sharing on on the internet, email marketing, and all of that, just to show commitment. We intend to adopt crowdfunding, donations from donations or legacy gifts, application fee from people that would like to apply to use our services with time, and some of the other things as we can see. So our major costs, right now we have launched our platform, which is www.minersclick.org. We need to further develop it and manage it very well. We need funds and all of that. The initial cost was $3,000, and we need to have budget for each of the phases. So for this phase, we budgeted $3,000, and we are making progress in that direction, but we hope to budget for each of the phases as we make progress. So these are timelines for the things we intend to achieve in 2018, and we can assess it and see if we'll continue or we'll adopt another strategy in the coming years. So here are our team members and our key roles. You can see on the PowerPoint. And our key partners, people we already have links with, and we hope to leverage on them on the PowerPoint. And here is our project summary. And I like to say that our early adopters, we already have people that are into research, especially in fossil fuels. So if we have people who want to learn, or who want to go into coal and bitumen mining, we have people already on ground who are researching in that and can readily provide advice. We have people people into gold mining, which uses mercury and which is not too good for the health. And we are readily available to provide advice and support to people in that area. And we believe we'll be able to, to achieve all of that with the help and support we are getting from here. So this is our motto: to think global, but to act locally. Communities will be transformed, youth will be empowered, and we beg you to help us make this dream a reality. Thank you.
So thank you very much for your presentation. I thought you covered a number of really important parts of the topic of artisanal mining and the issues that communities face. It is such a vast topic though, and so many people across the world, in Nigeria and other countries, involved in it. To get the most impact, what are your thoughts around your initial areas of education, and with which parts of the community do you think is going to be most effective?
Okay. First of all, like I mentioned in one of the slides, there is a general disconnect between those miners on the field. They don't know anything, they cannot calculate or, define anything in, when you give them book, they cannot even write their names. And those who go to school, who study mining engineering, geology, and all that, who studied how to calculate reserve estimation, they don't have access to going to the field. So, the gap is there. So we want to mediate between companies, the government, so that we'll be able to bring these people together. Sometimes we'll take these people that have experience, starting with the students who are in schools. That is our primary focus. To be able to get companies that can sponsor them to go for internships, learn from what is happening on the field so that they'll be able to bridge the gap. And then when these students go, we also coach them before they go for the internship so that they will be able to, pass the knowledge they have upstairs to these miners that are undertaking mining without having the technical know-how. For example, the issue of lead poisoning in Zamfara was very simple. These people, they were just mining with hand tools. They wear the same clothes. When they finish, they will just bring it back home like that. And then the children will, oh, mommy, daddy, welcome, welcome, come and hug them. And before you know, children will be inhaling the lead that occurs in association with the gold ore. So a simple education, doing jingles, handbills, telling people it's not good. When you go to the mine site and you are coming back, change your clothes. Don't use the same clothes and go back to the house. Those simple education, strategies, we believe will be able to curb some of these issues, which are just due to ignorance, and all of that.
Well, thank you very much. Well done. Well done. We're out of time. Good job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take that. Great job. Let's hear it again for Minus Click. As an extension of Move Mining, SME and MEC thought the next logical extension would be to implement Move Mining Next Generation. And in a moment, after Team 5 does their presentation, we're going to see the winning video from that competition. Students were asked to answer the question, why is mining important? And they were given 3 minutes to create a video to talk about why mining is important in their lives. Was it successful, you ask? Didn't you ask that? You were thinking that, weren't you? Well, it was. We had over 100 teams submit videos for Move Mining Next Gen. We had voters and viewers from all 50 states and 70 countries. We had more than 12,000 views on the competition website, and we had more than 1,800 votes. Team Camille won the $1,000 Best Overall Prize for this inaugural year, and we gave away more than $2,500 in prize money to the competitors. So Move Mining Next Generation, yes, congratulations. What a great first year. If you'd like to look at the videos, including the winning videos, go to moveminingNextGen.org. With that, I'd like to introduce our 5th and final contestant.
And finally, our next contestants are using social experiments to identify ways to increase awareness of the mining industry. From Rolla, Missouri, presenting for Team S&T Miners, please welcome Dr. Usman Khan and Atta Ur Rehman.
Good evening, guys. My name is Atta Ur Rehman, and sorry, my other teammate, he couldn't come up due to some family problem. And both of us are hardcore mining engineers, and since we are mining engineers, so we always wanted to improve the perception about mining in the community. And when this once this project was announced, so that gave us chance to materialize our aim. So thanks to Move Mining Competition for giving us that chance. So when this project was announced, we considered many different options to go on, like visiting schools, colleges, universities, maybe putting some tags on the commodities like cans or all those things that are derived from mining. But it appeared that most of them were kind of localized, and they are going to make a localized kind of effect. He's done. So as the President Trump says, you have to think anyway, why not think big? So we came up with this idea to using the media for moving mining. And while I was doing my research for information diffusion potential related to mining, I came up with another, quote of previous President Barack Obama, although it was a sarcasm, but he said, if I watch Fox News, I wouldn't vote for me. So this gave me an idea like the power of media, like how powerful media is and how people can use it to change the perception among people. So what our concept is, so what we are proposing, that organized usage of media for community engagement and perception development. And how we will do that? We will do that by constant information diffusion about mining on different media forums. Once we come up to this idea, we thought whether this will work or not. So we conducted a small social experiment. We went to the people and we asked them, rate the impact of mining in your life on a scale from 1 to 10. Just random people. And their responses are like this.
I mean, like, it doesn't affect me personally, but like in my day-to-day life, there are things that are mined, so.
I would say 1.
Okay.
0. No impact.
So First Lady, she said 3, maybe because of some issue, it couldn't show. So then we did some kind of information diffusion. We just gave them small information that imagine your world without roads, aeroplanes, cars, railroad, medicine, minerals, processing chips. We had a bunch of lists, but we just gave them these things. And immediately we asked them, do you want to reconsider your answer? And they were like this. Let's play it again.
A little higher, like a 7 or an 8. Just
So it's making 100% impact in my life. So.
Right. Maybe say 6 or 7 then, after more thinking about it.
So now you listen, this guy said after more thinking about it. And how did he do that? Like we gave him some information. So this is our basic idea that social media is our main primary objective, like main primary tool other than all medias. So in United States, 214 million people are active Facebook users. That's around 66% population of US. And 68 million are on Twitter. So what they can do, they can make content, they can share content, they can endorse some content, and they can also reject some content. So what we are going to do, we are going to make short documentaries, short articles, best mining practice pictures, some discussions, and answering to public queries. So as the President says, like, you have to think big. So what we propose is we should, ask all the key players in mining, like all the big firms that come up, and let's just make a consortium. Like all of them should pool up together for effective and collective media management to educate public on media with one slogan. We mine with your support to support the community. So how this consortium will work? We propose these 4 quarters, we propose the project for 1 year. So the first quarter is called Importance of Mining. In this first quarter, we will arrange visits of stakeholders, all kinds of stakeholders, to come and visit mines. And then we will ask them different questions about mining, and then we'll ask about their perception about mining before visiting and after visiting. We will be recording those videos, we will be writing articles on those things, and then we will publish those things on media. And once something is on media, it keeps circulating there. So it's a kind of a continuous process, so it keeps on moving. The second quarter will be mining. We named it Mining Queries. In this, we plan to ask people to come to us, and they can ask us anything they want to. We propose, I think, bi-monthly seminars, so you can say it's 6. We can publish those in different articles, or you can sort of do the advertisement so that people can come and ask us questions on those seminars. The third quarter is miners mingling and visits, in which the miners, they should come and visit different schools, different reality shows, public events, local festivals, so that they can tell the people how hard they work on underground mines, so that the electricity could run in your copper cables. So, and the fourth quarter is because its project is proposed for the first time, so the fourth quarter is for progress review and planning for next year, so that we can find out where we are lagging and where we made progress, so that we can do or perform better next year. And this is the typical methodology. Every key player or every company who wants to be part of this thing, they will nominate one person. He will go into that steering committee, followed by our director and deputy directors. I just named them north, south. You can have any name. It's pretty flexible. And then assistant directors, they can also be from the companies. They can also be from, you can recruit them. It depends on the type or the way you want to go ahead. Steering committee will decide which mine we want to visit, how the plan will work. The director and deputy directors, they will be responsible to execute this program. So the reason why we added deputy directors and director is they should be people who are independent, who are not from mining industry, who doesn't belong to any of these people who are in steering committee, so that things, they can go smoothly without, you can say, any development of clash of, what we call it, like clash of interest or something, because there might be a bias toward a specific company, because they have people in steering committee, they want to project their company more. So these guys, they will keep check on them. And we did some preliminary budgeting after doing some literature review, how people budget their projects. I had very less knowledge on that. So the seminar and social media cell will take 60% share, 10% will go to documentary production, 10% will go to the bloggers and content writers who will write things for mining, 10% goes to office supplies or office work run by table chairs, all those things, and 10% goes to souvenirs. Why I proposed souvenirs? One, like my other partner, he was saying, you are bribing people. And I said, no. Whenever you give someone a small souvenir, he will remember everything he learned in that seminar, in that proceeding that is associated with that souvenir. So that's there. And this is the cost breakup. The budget cost is around $0.5 million US, pretty high as compared to previous contestants. So this is a big project. And the marketing, our project plan is, I have already discussed that fourth quarter will be used for further marketing and project planning. And these are the acknowledgements. My professor, he gave me that summer semester project to work on information diffusion, and I ended up being a finalist in Move Mining competition. My both universities and Society of Mining Engineers to give me a chance to come up and participate. That's all for my presentation. If you have any questions.
All right, so I got a question. First of all, very nice presentation. It was very encompassing and well done. I like the idea of media. It gets the word out there and it spreads very quickly. But like any other message, it can start out with one intent and a very positive direction or impact, and with one comment, it can take on a different spin or go down the other road. So what would be your intention to monitor? How would you monitor to make sure that what you're intending to communicate stays whole, or recorrect or address anything that I'll say goes a different direction than what you put it out there for?
The way we propose is the public, mostly they don't know about mining. Like they don't know the impact of mining in their life. So whatever the information they get first, they believe it. If someone is going to say that mining is bad, they're going to believe it, that mining is bad. Because they haven't visited a mine, they don't know how mining works, they don't think about the impact of mining in their life. Like that's why we conducted that experiment. So what we will do, we will try to educate people about the importance of mining. So it cannot go in a negative way, but I believe that. Like there will be some people who will always say, like whatever you say, they will say, no, he is doing this just because he has some hidden motives. But generally public, who are more prone to understand, who are more prone to learn, they will say like, yes, we need mining.
Thank you.
Great job. Quick question. I noticed that most of your tactics were focused on digital and social media, and that may very well be by design. Do you intend to pull in any tactics for traditional media to pitch reporters, news outlets, et cetera, to place stories on nightly news, things like that?
You're right, but actually whatever we do, if we are writing a blog, if we are publishing an article in the newspaper, we can still scan it and upload on social media. So social media is kind of black hole, everything goes into that eventually.
Yeah.
So, but I have mentioned we will spend some amount of our budget for all those media, but eventually social media is the big thing.
Sure.
And we can use it to its maximum.
Great, thank you.
So you've got a pretty big scope here. Could you talk a little bit more about where or how you would start? How would you launch the effort and begin? What would you do with the amount of, if you won the competition of $5,000, given the size of your budget?
First thing is, if I win the competition, I will try to get myself endorsement from SME or some big organization who can stand at my back and tell people, yes, this guy is credible enough. I will try to get in loop my professors because they have some reputation. And then we can go into, we can contact different key stakeholders, like Freeport, like Caterpillar, all those, so that they can come and join us if they want to. And then we can present them the whole idea. And it's for everyone. Everyone needs mining, and for businessmen, it's not a big deal. If there are 10 key players, $5,000 per year, that's not a big deal.
So do you intend to start out with a national focus?
Yes, firstly, we proposed it. Firstly, we want to focus United States, then it will start trickling down as well.
Is there an opportunity to trim back the scope, given that the grassroots aspect of social media and digital media? Is there an opportunity to trim it back and run with volunteers and no cost?
Volunteers, volunteers, they depend on their mood. Sometimes if the volunteer is, it's true, we can hire internees because they have prospect for the job. If a mining engineer, he's internee, or you hire him for this purpose, he might be more passionate to do this thing because, one day I will be going in the industry. If industry is prospering, I will be getting a good job. But it's kind of tricky, and I believe it will be hard. People prefer money. That's truth. We cannot, hide behind some, certain facts. They are true. You cannot bypass them. I believe so.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well done. Well done. Let's hear it again for S&T Miners. Well done. Judges, we would like you to exit to this side of the stage with your iPads to tabulate the scores. And I would like to thank, again, Polymet Mining. Do we have anybody here from Polymet? Please stand up if you're here. Stand up. Thank you. We appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you. I want to thank the staff of SME and MEC for the many hours, blood, sweat, and tears that they've put into this program. We're very, very enthused about the second year of Move Mining and the first year of Move Mining Next Gen. And as promised, we're going to show you the winning video for Move Mining Next Gen.
What did one penny say to the other penny? Let's get together and make some sense. Hi, I'm Camille Bernal. Let's dig into how to make some sense about copper. For starters, just imagine a world without copper. No video games, no tablet, No music player? No speakers? No dance party? No power! Without copper, we wouldn't have those things if we didn't have copper in its world. The U.S. Geological Survey estimated that every American born in 2008 used 1,309 pounds of copper during their lifetime for necessities, lifestyles, and health. That's a lot of copper. But that copper doesn't make itself. Through mining, concentrating, smelting, refining, and casting, copper makes its way from a natural state into the very items we use and rely on every day. But doesn't mining hurt the earth? Well, thankfully it doesn't. Mines today are very friendly to Mother Earth and make sure she doesn't get sick for many years. Now, in order to make copper, we need very special people with very special skills. To find out who helps make copper, I sat down with James Stabinsky, a geologist for Freeport-Morenci.
So here at this mine, we have both a technical and then an operations staff. With technical, we employ anywhere from geologists to engineers to metallurgists that help the process along the way. And then on the operations staff, we'll have haul truck drivers or any other type operators that are going to work equipment or move copper or help process copper to get to its final form.
Thanks, James. Now I'm gonna let my sister Zolani tell us more about copper.
Hey guys, today is the episode of 5 year pups. And I was the power girl for Kyo, and I was yours crying, and you was wee rapping. Bye!
Awesome stories though. In the end, without mining, there would be no copper. And without copper, there would be no dance party! Thanks for watching!
I had the pleasure of being a judge and watching the 100 videos, and they were very, very enlightening, and the kids were just awesome, as you can tell. We welcome the judges back to the stage, and I would like to welcome SME's Executive Director, Dave Kanagy, to present our award. Come on out. Let's welcome the teams back to the stage.
Welcome back these teams, and let's thanks again for the judges. We appreciate your time today, and we really appreciate you listening to the presentation. And you know what? I think that everybody's a winner up here today because you all have great ideas about changing the perception of mining. And if you all go back and just do a little bit, we're all going to be better off in our mining community. So thank you all, first of all, for participating this year. We really appreciate it. This year's competition had entries from 10 countries, and as you can see, as someone told me a few years ago, this ain't your grandfather's SME anymore. So with that, if I get enough arms and legs here, I can probably figure out who won. All right, the winning team is team number 3, Teaching Kids.
that concludes this year's Move Mining event. What an exciting event. Let's have a round of applause for all of our contestants again. Well done. We'll see you back here next year. Don't forget to buy your Move Mining shirts and water bottles at the SME gift shop, and watch for details of the 2018-2019 Move Mining and Move Mining Next Gen that begins in May of this year. Thanks again. Have a nice evening.